Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
I had sent the reason for the delay on WhatsApp. I hope you all saw the message.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, children. Can you recall, children? We have learned all this. We have understood this, right? How to divide two numbers, two fractions.
Yes, ma'am.
What about this one? Should we start from here? I'm not very sure. Let me start from here. So look at this one, children. Divide 28 by 7 by 4. We have come across this OF operator earlier, OF off. OF stands for multiplication. The OF operator, OF off operator stands for multiplication. Here in division, you will see this word by, B by. Divide 28 by 7 by 4. By meaning division, divided by. By, you should replace by with the division symbol. Like you replace OF with the multiplication symbol, you need to replace this by with the division symbol. So see the answer, 28 instead of by, say divided by. See the division symbol. 28 divided by 7 by 4. 28 is 28 by 1 divided by 7 by 4. So which means 28 by 1 division becomes multiplication and 7 by 4 is written as its reciprocal 4 by 7. That's how we divide. So a division problem is converted to a multiplication problem. How? By changing division to multiplication and by taking the reciprocal of the fraction after the decimal symbol, the second fraction. I'll come again. So 28 is 28 by 1 divided by 7 by 4, which is equal to 20. Write the first fraction as it is, 28 by 1. Write the first fraction as it is. Now this division is changed to multiplication. And 7 by 4, the second fraction 7 by 4 is written as its reciprocal 4 by 7. Now this is a problem on multiplication. How do we multiply? We multiply the numerators, we multiply the denominators. So multiplying the numerators, we get 28 into 4 in the numerator and 1 into 7 in the denominator. Next, we need to take up one number from the numerator, one number from the denominator and simplify if possible. And here you can take up 28 and 7. 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. After simplifying, we must multiply the leftover numbers. Now in the numerator, we have 4 and 4 left over. So 4 into 4, 16. And the denominator, we have 1 and 1, 1 into 1, 1. So the result is 16 by 1, which is nothing but 16. Do you understand, children?
Yes, ma'am.
The same is the procedure for the next one. 36 by 62 by 3. Now, what kind of a fraction is this? What kind of a fraction is 62 by 3?
Ma'am, a mixed fraction.
It's a mixed fraction. What is its improper form?
Ma'am, 20 by 3.
20 divided by 3. 20 by 3. The improper form is 20 by 3. So see here. $36 is 36 by 1 divided by 20 by 3. So 36 by 1 into 20 by 3 is 30 by 20 as its reciprocal. 20 by 3. The reciprocal of 20 by 3 is 3 by 20. Then multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. Simplify. Here using the tables of 4. 4 5s are 20. 4 9s are 36. So now 9 3s are 27. 1 into 5 is 5. This is an improper fraction. Write it as a mixed fraction. Just wanted to recall division. These word problems, I think we did it in the last class, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's read this question. The product of two numbers, is 15 5 by 6. Now you tell me, children, let's assume something. Let's just think of let's have the numbers, say 5 and 7 in our mind. All right, 5 and 7. All right. Now, what is the product of 5 and 7? What is the product of 5 and 7, children?
Ma'am, 35.
35. So let's say that the product of two numbers is 35. Okay, the product of two numbers is 35. If one of them is now the numbers we have are 5 and 7. So if say one of them is 7, if one of them is 7, find the other. It's a question like this. So the two numbers are 5 and 7. The product is 35. The product is 35. So here the product of the two numbers is given to us. The product of two numbers is 35. If one of them is 7, what is the other number? How do we find? It's 35 divided by 7. The product 35 divided by one number 7. 35 by 7 is 5 and 5 is the other number. Yes or no, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's say 11 and 99. Let's say 11 and 99. What's the product of 11 and 99? Sorry, children. Let's take the numbers 11 and 9. 11 and 9. What's the product of 11 and 9?
Ma'am, 99.
99. So we'll frame the question like this. The product of two numbers is 99. If one of them is 9, if one of the numbers is 9, find the other number. So how do we find the product 99 divided by one number 9? 99 divided by 9 is 11 and the other number is 11. The other number is 11. So this situation is division. When you're given the product of two numbers and one of the two numbers, to find the other number, you must divide the product by one of the two numbers. See here, product of the two numbers is 15 5 by 6. Write this mixed fraction as an improper fraction. One of the numbers is 6 2 by 3. Write it as an improper fraction. Now the other number will be the product. Write the product first. The product divided by one number. The other number will be the product divided by one number. Now how do we do this division? Write the first fraction as it is. Division is written as multiplication. So what we do, we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. We take the reciprocal of the second fraction. 20 by 3 is written as 3 by 20. Next, we need to multiply the numerators, 9 into 3. Sorry, 95 into 3. Multiply the denominators, 6 into 20. Then take up 3 from the numerator, 6 from the denominator. 3 ones are, 3 twos are. Take up 95 from the numerator, 20 from the denominator. In the tables of 5. In the tables of 5, 5 fours are 20, 5 19 times 95. Now we're done with the simplification. We need to multiply the numbers left over in the numerator, 19 into 1, 19. And the numbers in the denominator, 2 and 4, 2 into 4, 8. And 19 by 8 is an improper fraction. This is its mixed form. So the other number is 2 3 by 8. Is this understood, children?
Yes, ma'am.
No, what is important is we should understand that it's division. The situation is division. Yes, please ask me if you have any questions, children. Any doubts, children? Any questions? Please ask me. No? Understood, children? Please acknowledge.
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
What about the others?
Understood, ma'am. Yes, understood, ma'am.
Okay. So again, whenever we are handling a word problem, take some of the numbers to understand the situation. Use some of the numbers. Like you can say the product of two numbers is 100. The product meaning when you multiply two numbers, the product is the answer you get on multiplying two numbers. The product of two numbers, that is when we multiply two numbers, the answer is 15 5 by 6. So let us say that the product of two numbers is 100. If one of the numbers is 25, supposing two numbers, the product of two numbers is 100. If one of the numbers is 25, what will be the other number? Tell me, what will be the other number?
Ma'am, we should divide 100 divided by 25.
What's the answer? What is 100 divided by 25? Yes, all of you do. 100 divided by 25, what's the answer?
Ma'am, 4.
4. So the other number is 4. The other number is 4. And it's correct, right? Like we can check the answer. One number is 25. Now the other number is 4. And 25 into 4 is 100. So our answer is correct. Okay. Now look at this. By what number? See the next one. By what number should this fraction 6 2 by 9 be multiplied to get 40? So again, let's use our own numbers, but to understand the question better. By what number should 5 be multiplied to get 80? Or let's say, by what number should 5 be multiplied to get 40? So you use different numbers to understand the situation. You ask yourself, is it addition? Is it subtraction? Is it multiplication? Is it division? Now use these numbers. By what number should 5 be multiplied to get 40? Let's take this as 5. Let's take this as 5. Instead of 6 2 by 9, we'll say 5. By what number should 5 be multiplied? So 5 should be multiplied by what to get 40? You should get the answer as 40. By what should you multiply 5 then?
By 8.
5 should be multiplied by 8. Now using the, now but what are the two numbers in the question? What are the two numbers in the question? 5 and
5 and 40. 5
Five.
and 40, ma'am.
5 and 40. Now the two numbers in the question, see, answer we don't know. These steps we don't have now. We only have the question. By what number should 5 be multiplied to get 40? So we have only these two numbers, 5 and 40 in the question. 5 and 40. Now you all said the answer is 8. 5 should be multiplied by 8 to get 40. And you're all right. 5 should be multiplied by 8 to get 40. But how did we get that answer 8? How will you get that answer 8? By adding? By adding 5 and 40? No. By subtracting 5 and 40? No. By multiplying. See, why am I saying 5 and 40? Because they are the only two numbers in the question. So what should you do with the two numbers in the question? What should you do with the two numbers in the question so that you can get that answer 8? You all said 8. How? So this 40 should be divided by 5. 40 should be divided by 5. So 40 divided by 5 will give us the answer. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So we all said the answer is 8. Similarly, here it is 40 divided by 6 2 by 9. See, the order is important in division. In subtraction and division, the order is important. You cannot write any number first. You cannot write any number first. So which number first is very important. See, in the earlier one, it is this number, the product divided by one number. In example 8, it was the product divided by one number. See here, the product we have to write first and then one number to get the other number. But here it is the second number first. So you cannot remember in any crude method that, okay, if the question is like this, then I'll write the second number first. No, you need to understand the situation. And how do you understand the situation? By taking your own convenient numbers. You should take your own convenient numbers and analyze how you got that answer. We used 5 and 40. From 5 and 40, we said the answer is 8. How can you get 8? By dividing 40 by 5. Which one did we write first? This number 40. Then we wrote 5. Similarly, here it will be 40 divided by 62 by 9. 40 divided by 62 by 9. So by what number should this one be multiplied to get 40? All right. So here they've written product of two numbers is 40. Yeah, this is the product, because when you multiply this one by another number, the answer is called the product. When you multiply this number by some other number, the answer you get is called the product. So 40 is the product. 40 is the product. So product of two numbers, 40. One of the numbers is 62 by 9. So what will be the other number? This product 40 divided by this number 62 by 9, which is 56 by 9. And then the procedure you know. So the other number is 45 by 7 or 63 by 7. I'll just give you 2 minutes time. Just see the answer, children. Go through the steps. All right, children, let's see the next one. You're familiar with these? Just go through these sums. Quickly go through these sums on division. You can just go through one for a sample. Say the last one here, this one, the last one. 5 divided by 3, 4 by 7. You can write, see, sometimes you can write 5 by 1, it's 5, 5 is 5 by 1, it's the same. So here you don't see 5 by 1. Anyways, you understand what it is. So 5 into 25 by 7 is 7 by 25. Division becomes multiplication. And then this 5 is in the numerator. So 5 from the numerator and 25 from the denominator. We are simplifying. And then it is 7 by 5 because 1 into 7, 1 is in the numerator. 1 into 7, 1 into 7, 7 divided by 5. Mixed fraction 1, 2 by 5. You should be fine with this. So here the heading is find the reciprocal of each of the following fractions. Okay. Find the reciprocal of each of the following fractions. Classify the reciprocals as, you must classify the reciprocals as proper fractions, improper fractions, and whole numbers. All right. Let's do the first one, 3 by 7. Let's do this. First, we need to write the reciprocal. So reciprocal of 3 by 7 is 7 by 3. Reciprocal of 3 by 7 is 7 by 3. Then what should you answer? You must classify if the reciprocal, the answer which you've got, the reciprocal is a proper fraction or an improper fraction or a whole number. Now look at 7 by 3. What kind of a fraction is it?
Ma'am, an improper fraction.
It's an improper fraction. So we have to answer two questions. One is, we are given a fraction. The first thing is we'll have to write the reciprocal of the fraction. Okay, we wrote the reciprocal. Reciprocal of 3 by 7 is 7 by 3. Okay, we wrote the reciprocal. Then what should you answer? You must comment if the reciprocal is a proper fraction or an improper fraction or a whole number. So the reciprocal 7 by 3 is an improper fraction. Look at this one, children, fourth one. See the fourth one here, 6 by 5, the fourth one. So reciprocal of 6 by 5 is 5 by 6. Reciprocal of 6 by 5 is 5 by 6. Okay. Now what kind of a fraction is 5 by 6? It is a 5 by 6 is a proper fraction.
Ma'am, proper fraction.
Yeah. Yeah, 5 by 6 is a proper fraction. Look at the last one here. Look at the last one, 1 by 11. Look at the last one. Reciprocal of 1 by 11 is 11 by 1, which is 11.
Whole number, ma'am.
Yeah. Reciprocal of 1 by 11 is 11 by 1. Even if you write 11 by 1, you're right. 11 by 1 is nothing but 11. 11 by 1 is nothing but 11. So you must also write 11. Reciprocal of 1 by 11 is 11 by 1, which is 11. And what kind of a number is 11? It's a whole number.
Whole number, ma'am.
It is a whole number. It is a whole number. All right. Decimals. Let's understand what we mean by this term decimals, children. The numbers expressed in decimal form. The numbers expressed in decimal forms are called decimals. So see here, see some examples of decimals. Let's read the definition again. Decimals. The term is decimals. The numbers expressed in decimal forms. If a number is expressed in the decimal form, see, like if a number has a numerator and denominator, we call it a fraction. If a number has a numerator and denominator, we say it's a fraction. 5 by 8. Why do we call 5 by 8 a fraction? 5 is in the numerator, 8 is in the denominator. If a number is of the form a by b, if a number is of the form a by b, where a is the numerator and b is the denominator. Now a by b is a fraction. A by b is a fraction. 5 by 8 is a fraction. Similarly, if a number is expressed in the form a by b, it is a fraction. If a number is expressed in the form a by b, like 5 by 8, 1 by 2, we call such numbers as fractions. We call such numbers as fractions. Numbers in the form a by b are called fractions. Similarly, numbers that are expressed in decimal forms, are called decimals. See some examples, children. 6.8. How do we read this? 6.8. 16.73. After the decimal point, we read the digits individually. We don't read it collectively as 73. After the decimal point, see at 16.73. 7.3. 7.364. We read the digits individually. We don't read them collectively like 364. No, we don't read it like that. After the decimal point, 0.053. Read the examples, children. Read the examples of decimals here. What is this?
Ma'am, 6.8.
Okay, this one.
16.73.
Ma'am, 16.73.
Yeah, all of you can say yes. 16.73. Yes, this one.
7.634.
Ma'am, 7.364.
7.364. This one.
Ma'am, 0.053.
Very good. 0.053. So you can read this as 16. This is 16 before the decimal point. See, this dot is the decimal point. Before the decimal point, you can read the number as usual. 16.73, not 73. You should not say 16.73. That's incorrect. 16.73. 7.364. Okay. So like a fraction has two parts, numerator, denominator. Like a fraction has two parts, numerator and denominator. A decimal has two parts. Okay. Now this part, see here children, see this example. See this example, 7.364. Can you see the decimal point? The part before it, the part before the decimal point is called the whole number part. And the part after the decimal point is called the decimal part. So here 7 is the whole number part. 7 is the whole number part and 364 forms the decimal part. What you see before the decimal point forms the whole number part. What you see after the decimal point forms the decimal part. So what is a decimal? A decimal is a number. A decimal is a number that's expressed in decimal form. A number that is expressed in decimal form is a decimal. What are the two parts of a decimal? A decimal has two parts. Whole number part, decimal part. So the part of the decimal, see this is a decimal. 7.364 is a decimal. 16.73 is a decimal. This one is a decimal point. This one is a decimal point. 16.73 is a decimal. 6.8 is a decimal. 0.053 is a decimal. In the decimal, you have the decimal point. In the decimal, you have the decimal point. And in the decimal, you have two parts. Whole number part. Here 0 is the whole number part. And 053 is the decimal part. The part before the decimal point is the whole number part. The part after the decimal point is the decimal part. And now these two parts are separated by the decimal point. You can see that these two parts are separated by the decimal point. That's what you see here, children. The part on the left side of the decimal point. So see, this is the decimal point on the left side. The part on the left side of the decimal point is called the whole number part, and that on its right side. So the part on the right side of the decimal point, this is the decimal point. What you see on the right side is the decimal part. So see the example here, children. 73.62, we have whole number part is 73. Whole number part is 73. In this example, 73.62, the whole number part is 73 and the decimal part is 62.62. Anything is fine. Actually, the decimal part is only 62. Decimal part is 62. Now let's understand what's meant by the term decimal places. Decimal places. So now you know what are decimals. Such numbers are called decimals. These numbers are called decimals because they're expressed in decimal forms. And what is a decimal form? A decimal form has two parts. It has the whole number part and the decimal part. And these two parts are separated by the decimal point. All right. So now what are decimal places? You see him? Let's take these examples. Let's take these examples. Now, in this first example, children, 6.8, how many digits are there after the decimal point? How many digits?
Ma'am, only one digit.
Okay, so that means 6.8, this number, this decimal 6.8 has one decimal place. One decimal place. Decimal place. Now here, look at this one. You'll understand when we finish all these examples, you'll understand. Now this decimal has two decimal places because after the decimal point, there are two digits. After the decimal point, there are two digits. So this decimal has two decimal places. Two decimal places. So the number of digits after the decimal point represent the number of decimal places. So see here, this is the decimal point. After the decimal point, we have 364. We have three digits. So that means this decimal has three decimal places. This decimal has three decimal places. Now see the example here. See this example, children. 5.74 has two decimal places. 5.74 has two decimal places. 8.536 has three decimal places. Do we understand, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Others? Do we understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the number of digits after the decimal point represent the number of decimal places. Okay. Now, like we have like fractions and unlike fractions, we also have like decimals and unlike decimals. Like we have like fractions and unlike fractions, we have like decimals and unlike decimals. So if decimals have the same number of decimal places, if the decimals have the same number of decimal places, they're called like decimals. Now see these examples. See these examples. 6.73. After the decimal point, two digits. Here also 8.05. After the decimal point, two digits. This one 19.68. After the decimal point, two digits. So these three decimals, you can also call them numbers, children. These numbers are decimals. They are numbers only. These are numbers. Don't get scared as to how should we call them. They are numbers. These are numbers. These numbers are decimals. These numbers are all decimals. All right. Now, when you look at these three decimals, they have the same number of decimal places. Two decimal places, two decimal places, two decimal places. So they have the same number of decimal places. So they are called like decimals. You should tell me if you understood or no.
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Understood, ma'am.
Do we understand decimal places, children? The number of digits after the decimal point. After the decimal point. Okay, so in these three examples, these three decimals have the same number of decimal places. Two decimal places they have, so they are like decimals. Now look at these examples. 5.3, one decimal place. 8.64, two decimal places. 10.023, three decimal places. 0, 2, 3, three decimal places. So these are clearly unlike decimals because they have different number of decimal places. They have different number of decimal places. Decimals having different number of decimal places are called unlike decimals. Yes. Yes, what's your doubt? Matthew, your voice is very low. Just check if your your microphone volume is high. Maybe your microphone volume is very low. Your microphone volume. I can't hear you, Matthew. It's very feeble. I think you may have a doubt like 5.0, 5.00, something like that. We'll come to that later. If something like that, if your doubt is with respect to the zeros, I will tell you that later. Okay. So now these decimals, they have these have different decimal places. So they are called unlike decimals. So now, like in fractions, we can make unlike fractions like by bringing them to the same denominator. Unlike fraction, like in fractions, unlike fractions can be made like fractions by bringing them to the same denominator. Yes or no, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, unlike fractions, that is fractions with different denominators, can be made like fractions. We can bring them to the same denominator by using the concept of LCM. Somebody's mic is enabled. Please disable your mic. Some mic is enabled. Please disable your mic. Similarly here, unlike decimals can be converted to like decimals. So see what we have, what happens. Now remember this important result, putting any number of zeros to the extreme right of the decimal part of a decimal does not change its value. Let's understand that with some examples. Now look at this 3.8. You can write it as 3.80. You can write it as 3.800. You can write it as 3.800000000. You can add as many zeros as you want. You can add as many zeros like you have the number 5. Just 5, simply 5. If you write 50, that is 50. If you write 500, that is 500. But if you say 5 is 05, 05 is 5. 005, 005 is 5. What about 0005? That is also 5. So sometimes when you add zeros, see, adding zeros, you should understand that in the case of 5, when you say 50, it becomes 50. When you add the 0 to the right of the number, the value changes. But if you keep adding zeros to the left, 05, 005, 0005, the value does not change. It's still 5. Similarly, in the case of decimals, when you take this number 3.8, you can write it as 3.80. It's the same as 3.8. This 0 has no value. The 0 in the extreme end here has no value. But children, see this example here. See this example 0.053. This 0 has a lot of value. 0.053. When the zeros are in between like this, they have value. 0.053 is different from 0.53. Here the 0 is significant. It has value. But if you add zeros in the end to the extreme right or to the extreme left, it has no value. The value of the given decimal does not change. Look at this 3.8, 3.80, 3.800, all are the same. The 0 here is not significant, has no value. It doesn't change the value of the decimal. See at 2.94. You can write it as 2.940, 2.9400, 2.94000. But you cannot add 0 between. You cannot write this as 2.904. That is wrong. There you're changing the value of the decimal. If you write 2.904, if you insert a 0 between these two significant digits 9 and 4, if you insert a 0 between 9 and 4, you're changing the value. You can add it in the end. To the extreme end, you can add. So 2.94, 2.940, 2.9400, 2.94000000. All these are the same. You're not changing the value. All of them are still 2.94. Is that fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Adding zeros to the right, left also will not change. Now, if you can call 3.8 as 0.3.8 also 0.3.8. If you add zero, adding zeros to the extreme left, right or extreme right, left will not change the value of the decimal. Now, when you take 5.3, if you write this as 05.30, 05.30, same as 5.3. You can add zeros to the extreme left or extreme right. You will not change the value of the decimal. All right. Now see the place values. See the place values. Now let's arrange the digits. Let's arrange the digits of this decimal. This is a decimal. It's a number. It's a number. I'll just get back, children. I'll just have some water and get back. Just have a look at this example. Thank you, children. Yeah, so see the decimal, the place values here. Decimal point, ones, tens, hundreds, as usual. It goes on, thousands, 10,000, it goes on like that. After the decimal point, am I audible, children? I'm back, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So after the decimal point, tens, see T and THS, meaning 1 by 10. Ones means 1, tens is 10, 1 0 10, hundreds is 1 0 0 100. Like we say 3 into 100, right? 3 hundreds means 3 into 100. 7 tens means 7 into 10. 4 ones, 4 into 1. I hope you all know how to write a number in the expanded form. Writing a number in the expanded form. Supposing we have the number 374. How do we write it in the expanded form? 3 into 100 plus 7 into 10 plus 4 into 1. So here, ones meaning 1, tens is 10, hundreds is 100. 3 into 100, 7 into 10, 4 into 1. Tens meaning 1 by 10, 1 by 10. This is tens. This is tenths, T and THS. 1 by 10, that means 1 by 10. Hundreds, you should write 100, THS. Write 100 and then THS. 1 by 100, the place value is 1 by 100. Thousands, THS, right? 1000 and then THS. Now, if you have to write the expanded form of this, and then I hope you understand, children, you just have to place the digits in their respective place values. So 374. No, I'm sure you know this, so I'm not explaining this. I'm sure you know this. Place the number. This is the decimal. This is the decimal. Place it here in the decimal chart, in the place value chart. This is the example. This is the example. This decimal, we have placed it here in the place value chart. Okay, so this is 1 by 100. This is 1 by 1000. This is 1 by 100. This is 1 by 10. Decimal point 1, 10, 100. So if we have to write the expanded form of this decimal, it is 3 into 100 plus 7 into 10 plus 4 into 1 plus 5 into 1 by 10 plus 6 into 1 by 100 plus 8 into 1 by 1000. 1 by 1000, reciprocal of 1000. Reciprocal of 1000. 1 by 1000. Now, one of you tell me, how do you write this in the expanded form? 8.536. 8.536, tell me. Write 8.536 in the expanded form.
Ma'am, 8
Yes.
point.
No, not 8 point, darling. Try again. 8 is, what is the place value of 8?
Ma'am, 1.
Once, ma'am.
Yeah, so what do you say? 8 into?
8 into 1
8 into 1 plus?
plus 1 into 1 by 10.
Not 1 into 1 by 10. See the number, I'm showing this number. This decimal, 8.5.
Ma'am, 8 into 1 plus 5, 1 by 10 plus 3 into 1 by 100 plus 6 into 1 by 1000.
Into 1 by 1000. Okay, somebody else repeat. I want it again from a different student.
Ma'am, 8 into 1.
Very good.
5
Plus 8 into 1 plus
5 into 1 by 10 plus 3 into 1 by 100 plus.
Very good.
6 into 1 by 1000.
Very good. Who is this? Very good. Who is this?
Nandana, ma'am.
Nandana. Very good, Nandana. Somebody else try this. 19.68. Please try this. .68. Please try this. Somebody who's not tried, try this. Why no answer? Okay, then somebody try this. Who wants to?
Ma'am, 1 into 10.
1 into 10. Who's this?
Ma'am, I'm Swati.
Yeah, tell me. 1 into 10.
1 into 10 plus 9 into 1 plus 6 into 1 by 10 plus 8 into 1 by 100.
Okay, try this one. Try this one.
Which one?
No, I'm showing. See the pointer?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
8 into 1 plus 0 into 1 by 10 plus 5 into 1 by 100.
Yes, very good. Yes, that's what it is. Okay. So this is 1 by 10, 1 by 10, 1 by 100, 1 by 1000. The reciprocal of 10, 100 and 1000. Now see this, children. See example 2. Look at this example 2. Write the following decimals in ascending order. Write the following decimals in ascending order. Read the decimals: 5.74, 6.03, 0.8, 0.658, 7.2. So whenever you have to, now this here, these 5 decimals, it's easy to arrange, but the rule is to convert them to like decimals. The rule is, see, even without converting them to like decimals, we can easily arrange this. Because the greatest is which one? 7. 7.7 is big, right? 7 is the biggest. So 7.2 will come in the ascending order. No? Okay, from small to big. So it will be 0.658 first, and then 0.8, and then this 5.74, then 6.03, and then 7.2. In this case, it's easy. But the rule is you should always convert the decimals to like decimals and then compare. Do we understand? Convert the given decimals to like decimals. That is, make sure that they all have the same number of decimal places. That is, after the decimal point, they all should have the same number of digits. After the decimal point, they all should have the same number of digits. So now you can see that in this decimal, there are 3 digits after the decimal point. So this is the maximum, 0.658. In this decimal, there are 3 digits after the decimal point. So you should convert everything to this one, because this one has 3 places. This one has 3 decimals. Sorry, this one has 3 digits after the decimal point. This decimal has 3 digits after the decimal point. So what you should do, you should convert everything to like fractions by making sure that they all have the same number of digits after the decimal point. So how do we do that? Write 5.74 as 5.740. 6.03 as 6.030. Write the decimal and zeros accordingly. 0.8 is 0.800. This one as it is. And 7.2 is 7.200. Now you can see that every decimal has the same number of decimal places. Every decimal has the same number of decimal places. After the decimal point, all the decimals have 3 digits. Now let's compare. How to compare? First, compare their whole number part. 0, 0, 5, 6, 7. So now this is 0, this is also 0. So when you compare the whole number part, when you compare the part before the decimal point, whole number part before the decimal point, 0, 0. So both are equal. Now come to the decimal part. In the decimal part, what is the digit in the 10th place? 8. Here it is 6. So which is bigger? 8 is big, which means 6 is small. So this is the smallest number. This is the smallest number. See, now you should compare. First look at the whole number part. 0, 0. You cannot decide anything. Now come to the decimal part. The first digit in the decimal part, the first digit, 8. Here the first digit is 6. So straight away, 6 is small. So that means this decimal is small, the smallest. So 0.658 first, and then 0.800, and then this 5.740, and then the 6.030, and finally 7.200. So this is the ascending order. This is the ascending order, small to big. Small to big. This is the ascending order. Do we understand, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's just understand this and stop. Now let's understand how to convert a decimal into a fraction. Okay, we'll understand how to convert a decimal into a fraction. Now these are decimals. See, 0.5. 0.5 means 0.5. 0.24 means 0.24. 0.08 means 0.08. 0.225 means 0.225. See, what you see is after the decimal point. That means before the decimal point is 0. There is nothing before the decimal point. That means 0. The whole number part is 0. Because the number starts only with the decimal point. 0.5, 0.24, 0.08, 0.225. So you can see only the decimal. These are all decimals. And in these decimals, you can see only the decimal part. You cannot see the whole number part. That means the whole number part is 0. It's 0 everywhere. It is 0 everywhere. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's understand how to write 0.5, this decimal, as a fraction. Let's understand how to write this decimal 0.5 as a fraction. Fraction means what, children? It will have a numerator and denominator, right? It has two parts, A by B. So the numerator will be, take away the decimal point. Don't see the decimal point. What is the number? 5. That will be the numerator. 5 is the numerator. The denominator will have 1 followed by, it will have 1 followed by, how many digits are there after the decimal point? How many digits are there after the decimal point?
Ma'am, only one decimal place.
Yeah, yes, it has only one decimal place. There's only one digit after the decimal point. That means the denominator is 10. You should add 1 0 after 1. The denominator is 10. This 5 will be the numerator. 5 will be the numerator. In the denominator, you will have 10. The denominator will always be 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, and so on. It will be 1 followed by some zeros. How many zeros you should add? How many ever digits are there after the decimal point? Here, after the decimal point, 1 digit. So 1 followed by 1 0. So the fraction equivalent to this decimal is 5 by 10. Let's do everything, then you will understand. 5 by 10. Here the numerator is 24. The denominator will be 100 because after the decimal point, there are 2 digits. So 2 zeros we must have. 100 has 2 zeros. So 24 by 100. Try this one, children. What is a fraction for 0.08?
Ma'am, 8 by 100.
8 by 100. Because after the decimal point, there are 2 digits. 0 and 8. 0 has meaning. 0 is significant there because it's not in the extreme end. 0 has value. It's 0.08. So after the decimal point, 2 digits. Numerator is 08. The numerator will be 08. The denominator is 100 because after the decimal point, 2 digits. So 100. But 08 is nothing but 8, no? So it will be 8 by 100. What's the last one, children?
Ma'am, 225 by 1000.
225 by 1000. 225 by 1000. The numerator will be, take away the decimal point. Just cover the decimal point. What do you see? 225. That is a numerator. The denominator will be 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, a number like this. That is, you should write 1 in the denominator and you should write as many zeros as the number of digits after the decimal point. So here after the decimal point, 3 digits. So 3 zeros. That means 1000. 1 0 0 0. And of course, you should always leave it in the simplest form. So see here, children, our answers 5 by 10, 8 by 100, 24 by 1000, 225 by, 24 by 100 and 225 by 1000. You can see the answers we discussed here. And then you should leave it in the, because fractions must always be left in their simplest form. So please simplify and leave your answers. So 0.5 is nothing but 1 by 2. 0.08 is nothing but 2 by 25. They're the same. 0.5 is the same as 1 by 2. 0.08 is the same as 2 by 25. 0.24 is the same as 6 by 25. The fraction form of this decimal, the fraction form of this decimal is 6 by 25. This is the decimal. 0.225 is the decimal. The fraction form of this decimal is 9 by 40. Is 9 by 40. All right, children. So that's it for today's session. I'll share the material.
Why should we write up to this?
Yeah, yes.